month of October 2023 is already done. Aren't you surprised with how fast the months are flying? That aside, we head straight to the Business Roundup highlights. Uganda Revenue Authority AEO program marks 10 years. Uganda strives to adapt to the global renewable energy adoption targets. Jinja City business community are bracing for the Nyege Nyege Festival. And last but not least, South Africa poised to unseat Nigeria as the Africa's economic powerhouse. We have more rich content in the show. I'm your host, Dennis Igoa, and please don't touch the dial. From 10 accredited authorized economic operators in 2013 to 129 in 2023, Uganda Revenue Authority and partners have celebrated a milestone. AEO process helps businesses that are compliant to go through a fast lane in importation of goods. Let's have a look.
The Authorized Economic Operator Program in Uganda has hit a decade mark of implementation. According to URA and Trademark Africa, an implementing partner, AEO program is a big deal for the Ugandan business community, especially those who go through the customs clearance processes.
We are giving the mandate of tax revenue mobilization to our taxpayers, to our partners in this project of AEO. So we are really excellent about the 10 years, and we look forward to expanding beyond the borders. Remember, we now have the national ones and the 10 who are international. So really this is very, very good mandate that we give to our taxpayers, and we thank the AEOs very much. Most of them are large taxpayers, most of them are large clearing agents, large importers, large manufacturers, and all the sectors of businesses are covered in this sector of AEO.
It's really encouraging to see that we're operating not just in Uganda, but also we have regional operators, AEO operators that we have here. So as Trademark, there's a lot of potential in enabling businesses run swiftly, import and export more efficiently, and that's why we are supporting the AEO Enterprise Risk Management System, which is being piloted and should have a go live soon. I think by December we should be going live with the system to again help to that this risk management is done more online.
Uganda's AEO program, the most mature in the continent, has 129 certified members operating at national level, inclusive 13 that are newly accredited and 39 operating at the national level. The newly accredited companies that have gone through a thorough compliance and verification process are excited.
It was a good journey for us. We have been tax compliant for all these years, and we were striving hard to get into this AEO program, and finally we managed to get it. So today we have been awarded as AEO registered organization, and now it's going to help us a lot in clearing our cargoes, and we usually import a lot of raw materials from the other countries, and that's when we thought of getting this so that we could avoid the downtime, and also we could avoid the hassles of the customs which usually we were facing earlier. But now with fingers crossed, we hope that we shall be getting our cargoes a lot more fast and a lot more easier with always the green channel or maybe the blue channel. Yeah, so we thank URA for this wonderful opportunity, and we strive to be compliant even in the future. Thank you very much.
So what are some of the challenges?
We were getting the cargoes like sometimes it takes like 2 weeks, 20 days, you know, but now I mean like we are expecting the cargoes to be here in the country like at our premise like less than a week at least, you know.
Although the program has made major headways in enhancing voluntary compliance, AEO 001, the British American Tobacco Uganda, highlights some gaps that need to be harmoniously addressed.
I think speed is very critical, speed in execution, especially when it comes to clearing at the border points of products. This needs to happen very quickly. Sometimes you have delays. And then sometimes you have lack of information sharing between the teams at the border and then the team at the head office where we have our representatives that we collaborate with. So this needs to strongly improve. Of course, automation, I think this is a work in progress, but also the general understanding of businesses and the uniqueness of each business in terms of the caliber of products they have, the nature of their sector, so that then we are able to benefit fully from this program.
An AEO is an individual, a business entity, or a government department that is involved in international trade that is duly authorized by the URA Customs Commissioner to operate as an AEO on fulfillment of the requisite supply chain security requirements. Dennis Igoa for the Business Roundup.
The first Ugandan cohort of the Africa Leather and Leather Products Institute, based in Ethiopia, has constituted a cluster to harness economies of scale. This was after the business owners were trained for a week in Kampala on how to set up and operate as a joint leather subsector. Makwadulo has the details.
Uganda boasts of sufficient and quality leather supply attributed to a booming beef cattle population and a rising number of tanning industries.
There is a big advantage for clustering of SMEs so that they can maintain the supply chain, they can work together to capacitate themselves, and even it will be registered officially so that they can receive all the support from the government, from NGOs, CBOs, and even from us as ALPI.
Unfortunately, most of Uganda's leather is exported in its raw form, with no value added to it, a challenge that the Ministry of Trade is committing to address.
There are lots of raw materials in our leather sector which are wasted, and we need to work together with the tanneries, to work together with the farmers to see that we can reorganize this sector and ensure that we prepare the raw materials like hides and skins, and we'll be able to benefit from value-added products in this area.
Moreover, over 800 leather SMEs registered in Uganda are facing steep competition from cheap substandard products, challenging their growth.
I have a bag I have made, it's a waist bag. Genuine leather, it's 150,000. I try to position it to a certain market, and then the people are telling me this is too expensive. They say, what makes it too expensive, yet this is genuine leather? And then they tell you, but we can get the same design from the market for 25,000.
There is a big market, by the way. There is almost, I know that there is almost so many students, they can benefit from that, even the army, even other government institutions. The moment they are coming together there, they have that capacity to produce a big quantity, then they can respond to all procurement, even from government.
The Kampala Leather Cluster will be guided by a newly instituted government secretariat in order to spoon for regulatory support.
Financial institutions have been asked to make the process easier for women to access credit as a means of trade facilitation. The call was made at the launch of the inaugural Women Economic Empowerment Initiative.
2, 1. Despite the presence of 24 million bank accounts in Uganda, only 24% of women-owned businesses are granted loans. Yet, according to Betty Amongi, women have higher capacity to offer more return on investments compared to their male counterparts.
And that if we are to close the gap globally, if we are to close the gap between women and men having the same opportunity to generate wealth, we will be able to add into the global economy 28 US dollars in trillion. The established fact is that women deliver the highest return for social development and investment when given the opportunity.
The financial sector players say that women have not been empowered at higher positions of leadership. Out of 19,362 people in the banking sector, 52% are women.
The women's participation in leadership and decision making at all levels of government and society. For this growing wave of change to continue, women must have support and opportunities available throughout their careers. Firms need to understand women's challenges and create a system where women can transition to senior leadership.
And from about 23 financial institutions who responded, we have about 7 board chairs who are female. Can we do better? Yes, we can. In terms of representation of female within the board, Altogether, we have about 186 members, board members, across the financial sector. 186, 58 are female. Can we do better? Yes, indeed, we can. How is it that we start off as many? Entry, we get to the supervisory, and we are not quite getting into C-suite. I think I had one of the speakers say C-suite. We're not quite progressing. What happens along the way? Those are the things we want to hear. What happens along the way? Why don't we see more females progressing beyond these levels?
My message to my fellow women is whenever you step into a room and you are the only woman or person of color, do not shrink.
The UNDP Country Director Elsa Atafa says, despite tangible progress made by Uganda government to uplift women, there is still limited investment space for women who are still operating small-scale businesses.
The first one is the investment gap. The investment gap. Due to infrastructure gaps, women lack facilities for training. And I know our sister spoke about mentorship and coaching and other things when she was speaking. Value addition, marketing, exhibition of their products, market information, marketing networks, and many more. And so that investment gap is huge. These services can be strengthened with better planning, coordination, and investment into functional value chains that target women businesses. So,
according to the World Bank, it will take the world 300 years to close the gender disparity gap. Crispus Arinitwe, Marion Aori, UBC News.
Nexus Green has officially commenced business-to-business operations, opening their doors to Uganda and East Africa's private sector solar market. As Uganda strives to adapt to the global renewable energy adoption targets, the company is hoping to contribute solutions operating on a large scale for profit.
Allow us to have the ability to really now drive.
To display their potential, a 200 kilowatt solar system has been set up at the Summit Residences, located on Naguru Hill, which will see the owners save over 50% of their electricity bills that would have been spent during the day.
68% of their energy bills happens during the day, what you call the shoulder. I mean, because the premium residents, they do laundry during the day, you have lifts, you have the swimming pool, you have all these things. So we are aiming to save, ultimately 90% of what they spend during the day. So we are looking to say, okay, look, all that energy that you spend during the day, why don't you put most of it on solar? And we estimate that their savings will be about 50% of that.
Government sees this as an opportunity to partner with Nexus Green in transforming agriculture, considering 90% of the sector relies on seasonal rainfall.
2050 will be 100 million people. We shall have to have predictable seasons, predictable agriculture, predictable yields. So there's a very big need for irrigation, fertilizers, and all that. We haven't done that yet in Uganda.
We have 3 million hectares that we can irrigate, but we are doing only 1%. But with Nexus Green, we are going to push that significantly. But we also want to achieve our emissions reduction target through mitigation. But our priority is adaptation. And what we are doing with Nexus Green is actually to make the local person on the ground adapt.
Uganda has abundant solar potential, a growing energy market, and the opportunity for a large-scale solar panel solutions company to contribute to clean energy access, job creation, and economic development in the region.
Ladies and gentlemen, business only needs 3 things in life: consistency, the ability to reduce cost, and the ability to get investment to stay. So when our partners come on board and say that we will be there to support you, the banking sector, the investment sector, then we know we've all got a winning team.
Can I hear you? And I can't hear you. I can't hear you. That's it. Come on.
Wadulo Mark Arnold, UBC News in Kampala.
The 5th edition of the Nyege Nyege Festival is around the corner, and Ginger City residents and business community are excited. Slated for the 9th to 12th of November 2023, the festival is expected to attract over 20,000 revelers from within and beyond Uganda's borders. I was there.
The Nyege Nyege Festival 2023 is set to take place in Ginger City, situated near the source of the Nile, one of Uganda's top tourist attractions. This event is renowned as one of Africa's essential music and arts festivals.
Nyege Nyege, it's a big opportunity for us, more especially people from Ginger. This is my 4th time to be here, or 5th time. I've been dealing in tents. We get a lot of money from different people because people hire tents. We get money from parking, you know. The place also develops. We get many tourists from different places, from all over the place of the world, because people come around, you know, people come around, people buy food, you know, the vendors make a lot of money. So it's all about art, fashion, and music, you know.
I'm trying my level best to see that I can get some business on like selling art and crafts things, bringing our cultural things such that these people can see and admire them, such that they leave money to us here.
Local residents and businesses in Ginger are excited about this development. People like Victor Waswa, a tour guide, and Ali Magumba, a boat operator, are already preparing for the festival's impact.
We're so happy that things are going to work well as we normally do with them, and we're hoping to deliver the same service we normally do with our safety and what we do work around here, because Nyege Nyege as a festival, we hope normally always bring many people from different countries, and today we know that there are some people going to visit this place as their first time to come, and we know we're going to get a chance to take them to the point where now begins to flow from Uganda, and we hope to do the best.
People will be coming from different, some of them have booked their tickets, they're coming to in that event, because it brings music from different countries, reggae music, African country, and our local music which is dance here. So people will be enjoying that music. So we also have service of the boat rides. They will still do the boat rides, and also service of the restaurants. They also do art and craft business. We have a lot of things that we will be attracting people to come and visit over the Nile in Ginger. This point we are standing is where we had the former Ripon Falls. So before they built the dam in 1947, there was a 5-meter fall of water here. So when they built the dam in 1947, the falls that John Speaks saw here, they got submerged. There was a 5-meter fall of water. So when the dam was built in 1954, the water level here got submerged. As a thing, we do have a little business that happens here at the Nile. Like we have boat rides that takes you to see where this water begins to flow. I'm sure there are no crocodiles, there are no hippos, that's only fish. Then up in the hill we have the John Speak Memorial Site. You know, John Speak was the first white man to see the Nile, but the locals were here. They are fishing, they had no any idea about the Nile. So it was sent from me at that time to come and explore about the source of the Nile. We're known all over the world. So we got a lot of tourists coming to see what we have in Africa.
The festival's organizers, led by Derek Debrew, a founder member, says that preparations are moving on smoothly and in concert with the relevant authorities.
Last week we were with the Ministry of Ethics. They commended us on all our efforts. They made sure, you know, that we improve on our toilets, that we improve on the safety. But they said from a point of view of morals, there's nothing the Ministry of Ethics says is bad at the festival, and it encourages every Ugandan that likes cultural events and arts and enjoyment to come for the festival. So, you know, it's really, really important when we do something of international proportion that the event organizers are able to work hand in hand with the government. You know, this is a team effort. It's not one person, it's not one business, it's really a team effort, and without the government we couldn't make this happen. So, you know, from my heart, I want to thank the government for having done due diligence, for having come to the site, for having checked everything, reported back to the governing bodies and cleared the event.
According to our preparations so far, on the vending side, yeah, people are coming in, but still we are calling more people to come on board because there's still more opportunities for these people. There's a lot of businesses to do here. It's not like it's a particular thing. Everyone should be coming to do something, make money, make business.
We're here, we are trying to do a mapping
to see that we have right routes for evacuating in case of an emergency, because this is an international event, whereby international event brings a lot of people, and while there's many people, you expect anything. As Uganda Red Cross, we prepare. In any event, we need to be prepared, because we know an emergency can occur at any time, at any moment. So we are here, we are mapping the area, that in case of an emergency, how can we evacuate casualties safely to receive treatment like first aid. We are going to have a team of advanced first aiders, so that these advanced first aiders are going to be performing first aid at the ground before they refer these casualties to a hospital.
Brian Osende, a tour operator, believes that this festival can help boost Uganda's tourism image, especially after the recent tragic events in Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Another reason why we should support Nyege Nyege, other than the money aspect and the boosting of our tourism, is our image. You see, having had the chance to live abroad, I know what people look at Uganda as. If you think about the last terrorist attack that happened on the tourists in Queen Elizabeth Park, that's how most people outside of Uganda look at Uganda. My wife is African American, and when I asked her, when I told her I'm from Uganda, she even didn't know where Uganda was. She had to go Google. Now, when she Googled and found what Uganda is, everyone around her is telling her Uganda is dangerous, they are killing people, they are doing this. Yet in the US, where they're having gunshots every time, you're more likely to be shot in the US than to be shot in Uganda, based on purely statistics. But everyone is afraid to come to Uganda. But when we have so many people come and converge in Jinja, one of our tourism hotspots, and it shows the beauty of Uganda, the weather, the soils, everything. We have an agricultural showground here. They look at what we do as a country. They realize how peaceful we are, how everything is done. We have clean rivers and lakes in Uganda. When they come and see that of a festival, and even those people in the festival, remember, they are tweeting, they are sharing videos, they are talking about Uganda, and we are known for our beauty and hospitality. Guess what? More tourists will come.
While the Nyege Nyege Festival has been subject of moral debate in the past, this year's event promises to showcase Africa's rich music and art scene. Dennis Ikoa for UBC Business.
On the continental scene, analysts in Nigeria calling for a swift revival of the nation's faltering economy as it struggles to deal with multiple challenges. This comes after the International Monetary Fund projected a shift in the overall African economic landscape, with South Africa poised to unseat Nigeria as the continent's economic powerhouse.
Nigeria, historically known as Africa's economic giant, recorded a GDP of $477 billion in 2022. The West African nation now faces the looming prospect of being eclipsed by South Africa, whose GDP is surging towards $401 billion in 2023. Meanwhile, the IMF is warning that Nigeria's GDP may drop to $395 billion, a stark contrast to earlier optimistic projections.
What it means is that we need to wake up. It's a wake-up call if you understand it. But if we don't, then they are going to be leaving us behind.
Experts emphasize that Nigeria's economic inertia stems from President Tinubu's reforms, including the floating of the naira and subsidy removal. Insecurity, limited infrastructure, and low technology application are also cited as hurdles hindering Nigeria's growth, contrasting sharply with South Africa's industrially robust economic landscape.
South Africa, they have more functional economy, and they are good members of BRICS, and they are going higher, and BRICS is assisting South Africa in terms of major investment and technological transfer.
Experts worry that the economic upheaval may not only impact Nigeria's global standing, but also dent investors' confidence.
The implication is that we might lose more foreign direct investments, more and more to South Africa.
Despite the IMF's projection, there's a glimmer of hope for Nigeria's economic resurgence. The IMF anticipates a rebound, attributing it to the dividends of President Tinubu's ongoing economic reforms in the long run. However, economists stress the need for strategic policy decisions with an emphasis on key economic priorities for Nigeria to reclaim its dominance. Kelechi Amekalam, CGTN Abuja, Nigeria.
And I've actually challenged the team that was here that by the end of this financial year, they should come up with another project to a tune maybe of $400 million for rural electrification. This is what I would want to see entering into the next budgeting cycle. Intentions to move and asking for phase 2 of the project. We cannot get all the $4 billion from the Chinese, but we shall engage all our partners to see how we can move to get that $4 billion for rural electrification of this country.
Kinara Sugar Works, located in Masinde district, is the second largest manufacturer of sugar in Uganda, producing an estimated 110,000 metric tons annually. Besides producing brown sugar, in 2022, Kinara commissioned an industrial sugar production line with a capacity of 60,000 metric tons per annum. Check this out in our Sounds of Business. As we wrap up today's episode of BRU or Business Roundup, we would like to leave you with some words of caution, or maybe wisdom. History is not there for you to like or dislike. It is there for you to learn from it. And if it offends you, even better. Thank you for being part of the show. I've been your host, Dennis Igoa. Let's catch up next time. Bye-bye.